Hey you, it's me. And I have been watching all this drama going down between Yaba, Sam, her girlfriend or fiance. I'm not sure. I know she gave her a ring. She talked about it quite a bit. So I don't know if that means they're engaged or what. But anyway, um, Yaba, Sam, and Belinda. Now, I will say that I don't always understand the dramas that they're talking about. I never really, I don't know much about NEGs or, I used to watch DC Media Girl a long time ago before, I don't know, she seemed a little sus and I was uninterested in watching her any further. Um, I used to watch Beginning Ground quite a bit in the beginning. I haven't watched him for a while. Same with Peanut or Angry Pistachio, I guess she is now. Um, I used to watch her a bit, but I didn't like the way she would call some of our girls behemoths. I just thought it was unnecessary. Although apparently since then she's kind of changed her tune a bit, which that's good. I'm happy to hear that. Um, but this whole thing blew up, and I'm trying to piece it together. Maybe you can help me out with this, but this is what I understand happened. Yaba, the father of her children, unfortunately passed away. And so she decided to take some time off the internet to go, be a person and handle things with her and her family, her children. And that makes sense. Now, Belinda, or Hillbilly Belinda, I had gotten the impression that they were fairly close, as creators, as people. So Belinda decided that she wanted to do a couple streams where people could donate to Yaba and her family. And I think that sounds great. Why not? She really cared about these people and wanted to do something for them. And a little extra cash when you're, taking time off of work could help. So I think her heart was definitely in the right place. She really pushed for people to buy from their store, the wax melts, the t-shirts, the mugs, whatever they sell, and to support them by buying stuff and donating money. Now, from my understanding with YouTube, is you get paid once a month. So the money that she was receiving through donations would not have gone into the bank until about a month later. So giving them the money right away would not have been possible, especially if Belinda is someone like myself who doesn't have a lot of money, who's broke most of the time. So she would have to wait for that money to come in before she could give it out. Now, after those two streams that she did, apparently life happened, which happens to everybody. She said that her husband was in the hospital. He was extremely ill. She didn't know if he was going to make it or not. And I would imagine that when something that devastating happens, everything else is put to the side because you want to be there for your loved one, just, in case. But apparently he's okay, which is great. I'm happy to hear that. But in the meanwhile, with all the goings-ons, and I know that she also works full-time, I believe, I guess she forgot about the money. And now Yaba, she's a very proud person, and she did not give authorization for Belinda to do these two streams, these two donation streams. Um, and she didn't need the money, nor did she really want the money, although I think she thought the idea of it was kind because it was done in kindness. So she didn't really say anything about not receiving the money. And I'm not sure what transpired, but Yaba said, well, where's the money? I don't see anything. And Belinda, I think, got offended by that. She did send the money, but she was distracted by her own, tragic situations, difficult situations. We'll say that. Tragic, no. Difficult, yes. So both Yaba and Belinda went through some very difficult moments in that time frame. But I don't understand. Yaba did get the money, finally, as she says, and that's a good thing. But I don't understand why there's such a rift in their friendship. Sure, Yaba could be proud and say, look, I didn't need the money, I didn't want the money, and then you sent it so late. And on Belinda's side, she was going through tough times herself and just forgot about it temporarily, but she did send the money eventually. I feel like it's just a matter of miscommunication. But now it's been blown up into something much bigger and just attack after attack after attack. Now, the reason why I didn't mention Sam as much is I used to listen to Sam's stream. But when she was doing streams about Amber, she got a lot of things wrong. And the people in the chat did correct her, mostly. But I just felt like a lot of the information she was giving was misinformation, wasn't correct. She didn't look into it as much as maybe she should have in order to make a stream about her. And so now Gaining Ground and Angry Pistachio / Peanut are making these videos, and they're very nitpicky about every single thing that Sam is saying. But I do think that Sam tends to, embellish. I'm going to be kind. I don't know everything that they talk about. I don't know all the information behind it. So I don't know anything except for what I saw in Belinda's Gaining Grounds and Peanut / Angry Pistachio's streams. And I will say Belinda did bring some receipts that showed that Sam was embellishing a bit. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I just don't watch her, because I don't necessarily trust the narrator. So I think that there might be some good points there. I also think Sam doesn't like to be wrong. And that's an issue because we all get things wrong. And I feel like she is really pushing this rift. Yaba, I've listened to some of her streams. I'll be honest with you, I do tend to fall asleep sometimes when I'm watching her streams. Not because they're bad, it's just that it's early for me. I usually work, half the night, so I'm not always coherent and awake when I listen to her streams. I have listened to some of the ones more intently regarding this information. I think Yaba doesn't attack as much. I think she's more trying to explain the situation. But I'm not really understanding the situation, because they took something very simple, blew it up out of proportion, and now everybody's running with it. And I don't know. I keep thinking, like, is there more behind this? Is there more that I'm not understanding? Because what I'm understanding is Belinda did 2 donation streams for Yaba and her family. she was late in giving them the money, and now there's a huge rift between them and they don't like each other. And it seems very strange when they were really supporting each other and now they're not suddenly. And again, with Angry Pistachio / Peanut just jumping on, being very nitpicky about Yaba's streams, and very nitpicky about what she says about Chantal. It seems unnecessary. Gaining ground, I'm not sure the rift there. I think he's just maybe supporting Belinda. I don't really have a problem with him. He's a little nitpicky as well, but he's allowed to critique. They're all allowed to critique, and I don't mind the critique. But all this fuck you, you suck, it just seems like it's gone so blown out of proportion. And I just can't help but think, like, am I missing something here? Because they're all doing essentially the same thing. They're all watching things and commenting. They're all commentators. And I guess I don't understand. I feel like there's been some misunderstandings. I feel like it's been blown out of proportion. And I do feel like Sam tends to embellish things, which isn't making things any better. I feel like Yaba's much more straightforward about things. And I guess that's why I like her streams. But man, what a mess. I'm watching people I haven't watched in years just to try to get a different take on it, to try to understand what the heck is going on. Now, I will say that it has kept me interested. It has got me back to watching two commentators that I haven't watched in a while. Although I would imagine that would probably be short-lived. Nothing against them. They're just not my cup of tea. That's it. There's nothing against them. But man, I guess you could say it's been entertaining. But I feel like all of this should have passed under the bridge a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, so blown up over what seems like nothing. And two, Yaba and Belinda, two caring individuals who are at odds with each other because of a late payment. I'm not really sure I understand that. I mean, you would have thought they could have talked to each other, worked it out. Even if they decided not to be friendly with each other, they could have talked with each other, worked it out, said, oh my goodness, my brain was not where it should be because of a tragedy in my family. And on the other side, oh my God, my brain wasn't where it should have been either, because I was having really big struggles in my family too. I mean, I would have thought they would have come to, like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, here's your money, and water under the bridge. But apparently not. It just keeps going on and on. So what I will be doing, I guess, is I will be continuing to watch. I mean, the truth is, I like Belinda, and I also like Yaba. Yaba talks more about things I'm familiar with, like Chantal. Belinda talks more about Negs and DC and a few other people. I have no idea who they are, but I just think she's fun. I like her personality wise, so I'll listen even if I'm not quite up to speed on what's happening. I figure if I keep listening, I'll catch up at some point. But wow, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Let me know if you have been watching all this go down as well. Give me your opinion on it, because any more information would be interesting to hear. Spill the tea, so to speak. But yeah, I'm just surprised that something that was so simple, full of misunderstandings, would blow up so big. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.